Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome to my channel. So today's video is one of my favorite video series to do, my monthly favorites. This is going to be for the month of October. We're gonna jump right in so this video doesn't take a million years. So if you would like to see my October favorites and not so favorites, then just keep watching. Starting with my first October favorite. This is actually a skincare product. I know I don't do a ton of skincare products on this channel because I'm super boring and I always stick to what I know works. This is from e.l.f. This is their Hydrating Water Essence, and this is actually moisturizer, believe it or not. It's kind of weird because it is very watery and it has the consistency of a toner, which did make it hard to apply. I wouldn't recommend applying this with your hands like you would a normal facial moisturizer. It does have a gel, a very tacky gel finish to it. It kind of sets on your face, so that definitely transfers to your fingers and it gets into a sticky situation. So I definitely found that applying this with a cotton round was the best way to apply. Real quick, here is an up close of the product itself. I paid about $10 for this from my local Target, and I thought that was actually a pretty good deal because it comes with 5 fluid ounces. So you're definitely getting a lot of product for your money's worth. I've had this for at least a month now and I've only used about that much. So a little bit does go a long way. I definitely found this to be very hydrating, just like what it says. I have more of a normal to oily combination skin type depending on what time of the year it is. Usually in the summer I get more of an oily T-zone, but in the winter I have more of a normal skin type. So for those of you guys who are similar to my skin type, I highly recommend that you go out and try this for yourself, and I definitely like it better than my previous facial moisturizer. To my next October fave, this is a foundation from Milani. This is their Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1 foundation concealer. I am in the shade 06, which is shade Sand Beige. And obviously I'm missing the cap. I looked everywhere for it this morning and I couldn't find it. So here is what the foundation looks like. It does have a little pump on the top, and just so you guys can see, this is a very stiff and solid foundation. As you can see, it is not running down whatsoever. It is kind of a chore to blend out, I'm not gonna lie, but it does blend out very evenly and you have that flawless coverage. So I found that instead of going in with my usual beauty blender, beauty sponge, I like to go in with an actual Kabuki stipple brush, and that way I can just kind of pat it down and use small stippling motions. And for me, that's just the easiest way to apply it, and it really does have flawless coverage. I would say this is definitely a medium to full coverage foundation. One thin coat is going to be very concealing, but again, you can do a second coat and build it up to full coverage. It definitely feels a little heavy on the skin if you do build it up, but it doesn't look crazy cakey, and it doesn't really slide around, especially if you set it with setting powder. Overall, this is probably my favorite, currently my favorite drugstore foundation that I've tried. I picked this up at Walmart and it was about $9, and I've had this for 9 weeks and I've only used about half of it up. It stays in place all day and it's really, really comfortable. I will say my only complaint with this foundation is that at the end of the day, if you're not careful and you go to like scratch your face or wipe your nose or whatever, it does tend to transfer. So be very, very aware of that. This foundation doesn't like stick like glue to your face. It does transfer towards the end of the day, you know, once your oils are coming out. So that's like the only complaint I have about this foundation, but everything else, I give it like 5 stars out of 5. My next fave is from Maybelline. This is their Master Chrome Metallic Highlighter, and the shade is 100 Molten Gold. Here is the compact that it comes in, and then when you open it up, it's just this beautiful glittery dewy highlighter, and I'm gonna go ahead and swatch this for you guys on the back of my hand. Ooh, look at that glow, baby. You really can't beat that glow, especially for a drugstore highlighter. It really does blend out super beautifully. It stays in place all day. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I think I like this a lot better than my high-end highlighters. Best of all, it's only like $8 from the drugstore, so you really can't go wrong there. Next up, I have a brush, and this is from Wet n Wild. This is the very first brush that I've ever tried from Wet n Wild, and this is just their biggest and fluffiest one that I saw when I was at Walmart. I think it's just their powder Kabuki brush. So here is an up close of it. Sorry, it's a little bit dirty. I did use it today to apply my makeup, but the bristles are so soft, and it's the perfect balance of denseness but yet flexibility. This is my favorite brush I found for applying some bronzer, especially on the temples and under the jaw. It just gives it that flawless application. And of course, best of all, it's from the drugstore. I believe this was only $3 or $4. I'm definitely impressed, and I'm going to check out some of their other brushes. My next fave is from Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is their Brow Wiz, and the shade I have is dark brown. So here is what the pencil looks like. I've actually had this for a long time, and I forgot to mention this in my last favorites video. This really gives like that ultra fine, ultra precise application to your brows. So it's perfect for on days when you want like really natural feathered out brows. The best part about this product is that it stays on like a tattoo, like literally. I could wear my makeup for 24 hours. I could even sleep overnight in my makeup, and the next day my eyebrows will still be there, which usually is not the case. And I've used a lot of brow products in my time. So this is amazing. It's very long lasting. Of course, it is on the high end of the spectrum, but to me, it's definitely worth every penny. Next up is an eyeliner pen from the drugstore. This is from Loreal Paris. This is their 12-hour infallible super slim liquid eyeliner in, of course, shade black. So here is what the pen itself looks like. Here is what the tip looks like, and I want to go ahead and give a quick little swatch. As you can see, it comes out jet black, and I really love the tip, the applicator tip. It just makes applying my eyeliner very fast because it's very precise. The reason I picked this up was because it was recommended to me by a friend. She said it was actually the dupe for the Stila Stay All Day Waterproof Liquid Eyeliner, which I actually have right here. Here's the tip of the Stila, which is going to be this one right here on this side, and then the tip of the Loreal, which is here on this side. So as you can see, they're very similar. I would say the one from Stila is just a little bit shorter, but for the most part, they are exactly the same. As you can see, they are super comparable. I think the only difference in these two products is that the one from Stila, you can get a lot more use out of it. I've had this for about 3 months now, and it's just starting to dry up. Whereas the one from L'Oreal, I had it for about a month and a half, and then it started to dry out. So this lasts twice as long than the L'Oreal. The one from L'Oreal I think is about $10. The one from Stila is around $23. So in my opinion, if you have the money, I would say go high end and get the one from Stila. But if you are on a budget, definitely check out the one from L'Oreal. I was very impressed with this product. This is hands down my favorite eyeliner pen that I've ever tried from the drugstore. And again, it's very affordable, so I highly recommend this. Okay, moving on to a blush. I actually received this blush for my birthday from Sephora. It's a little sample size from Tarte, and the shade I got was shade Parte. Here's real quick the little compact that it came in, and then the actual blush itself. It's definitely a muted pink sort of mauve shade, which shows up a little light on my skin tone. I don't know how well that shows up on camera. I definitely have to build up a little bit with this color just because I have more of a medium complexion. This would look beautiful on a little bit lighter complexions, but once I do build it up, it is beautiful. I've always heard that the Tarte blushes last a really long time, and I definitely found that to be true. The formula and finish is beautiful. It's not too chalky, and it's not too creamy. It's like the perfect balance, and again, it does last all day. I'm highly impressed, and I might just run back to Tarte and pick up another color. Another favorite, I actually got this as a free sample from Sephora. This is a mascara from Stila. This is their huge extreme lash mascara. So here's a little tube that I received, and I do want to show you guys the tip because I found this kind of interesting. It's very similar to the mascara from Too Faced. Here is what the lash applicator looks like. Overall, I really loved this mascara. It builds up volume so fast. Like, I literally only need one coat of this mascara on my upper and lower lashes. It just makes them very full and very lengthened. I will say the only complaint I have with this is that the formula does get very clumpy and like really fast. On the first application, it gets really clumpy, and I don't know if that's specifically because the formula is designed to be so thickening, or if it's just the brush just doesn't really separate the lashes out. Either way, it was pretty minor because I feel like there were more pros with this mascara than there were cons. So if you're in the market for a mascara that is incredibly volumizing, I would highly recommend this one from Stila. On to my last October favorite. This is a setting powder from the brand Airspun, and this is just their loose face powder in shade translucent. So here's what the packaging looks like. It is pretty massive. You do get a ton of product, and this is from the drugstore. Oh my word, I think I got some of the powder in my throat. Can't stop coughing. Anyways, just bear with me. So again, I got this from the drugstore, and I think it was about $8. And with this product, you get 2.3 ounces of product, which is massive. It's supposed to be one of the best setting powders you can get from the drugstore. And after testing that out, I did find that to be true. However, I do have one major complaint for this product. And that's just, it is incredibly messy. Like, look, I opened it right up, and as you can see, there's just powder flying everywhere. And for me, it kind of gets in my eyes and in my nose and in my throat, and I just have to be very careful with it, especially when I'm applying it. I usually apply it with this giant Kabuki brush from e.l.f., but I have to just be very careful about the excess powder just flying everywhere because it does make a huge mess. Having said that, this powder is very good. I noticed that it really did keep all my oils at bay throughout the day, even towards the very end of the day when I went to take off my makeup. This is especially good for when I'm wearing foundation that is on the dewy side. It really helps my foundation just stay in place all day. Oh, one more thing I want to mention, that this is very heavily scented, kind of like perfumed. And it almost reminds me of like baby powder, just the scent of baby powder. So if you're not a fan of strong scents, I wouldn't recommend this to you. I wouldn't say it's my favorite. My current favorite is still the one from NYX, the HD finishing powder, and this is a pressed powder as opposed to this, which is a more of a loosed powder. It just depends on what your preference is. I prefer pressed powders for setting powders, but if you prefer loose powders, then I would definitely recommend this. This is also great for baking if you just want to go ahead and set a chunk of powder there and then dust it away later. This is awesome for that as well. Okay, so those were all my October favorites. I'm going to quickly move on to my not so favorites. My first not so fave was actually from Milani. This is their newer Make It Dewy Setting Spray. So here's what it looks like. It cost about $10 from the drugstore. There was really nothing about this setting spray that I liked. I feel like this honestly did nothing for my makeup. It didn't really seem to make my makeup last longer. It seemed a little greasy. Also, the dispenser itself, the little pump, didn't spray out very well. It kind of just concentrated to like one side when I was dispensing it around my face. So again, this was kind of a dud for me. Maybe there's other people out there that had a really great experience with this product and they really love it, but for me personally, it's a not so fave. My next not so fave is from the brand Sonia Kushak. I don't know how to say that, but I'm gonna go ahead and show that to you so you guys can see the brand itself. I picked this up from Target for only a couple of bucks, and I thought this brush would be great for applying my transition shade with eyeshadow. Honestly, whenever I use this brush, I feel like I'm scratching the skin on my eyelid. I've never used a brush with such pokey bristles. The shape of this brush seems so perfect, and then when I actually pulled it out and started testing it on my skin, it was just really, really scratchy. It's a hassle to work with, and I definitely don't recommend this brush. This is the only brush I've tried from her line, so maybe she has other brushes that are a lot better, but as far as this one, it's a not so fave. My last not so fave, it actually surprised me because I really thought that I would love this product. This is from Maybelline. This is their newer Superstay Matte Ink Liquid Lipstick, and the shade I have is 10, which is shade Dreamer. So here is what it looks like, and I want to quickly swatch this for you guys as well. Oh, by the way, the applicating tip was really cool. I did like the applicating tip. I don't know what it's called, but it was really cool. So here is a quick little swatch. It's a beautiful color. I mean, it's a little bit of a lighter pinky nude than I would usually go for. Honestly, the pigmentation is really pretty. As you can see, with just a couple of swipes, it does give a really gorgeous color. However, this was just a dud for me because as I was waiting for this to dry on my lips, it started transferring between my lower and my upper lip, and then it just left like all these patches, like all these empty patches. And also it didn't completely dry matte. It had that really gooky, tacky feeling that kind of stayed a few hours after I had applied this. I had really high hopes and expectations for this lipstick because I'm always looking for really awesome liquid lipsticks from the drugstore, but this just really missed the mark for me. And I'm not sure if it's this shade in particular that was formulated differently from the other shades. Again, this is the only shade I've tried, but it was just really a hassle. It did not look pretty. And like, I have a lot of liquid lipsticks and they've never given me the problem and the heartache that this has caused me. So yeah, definitely a not so fave. That completes today's video, my October favorites and not so favorites. For a full list of all my products mentioned today, go to my description box below. Thanks so much for watching. Leave a comment down below and let me know what your October favorites or not so favorites were. I would love to read them. I hope you guys have an awesome rest of the day or night, whatever time it is for you, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.